the first memory that comes to mind for me is being about 7 or 8 years old and going to the dinner table. My mom and dad are divorced, so I lived with just my mom and my brother. And I decided I just wanted to eat dinner without my shirt on. And I just walked into the kitchen and sat at the table, and, like, everything was normal. And my mom didn't say anything. She just gave me a look and kind of just went back to eating. And I remember just wanting more of a reaction from her, not getting it. That's kind of all the time. And I think that was, like, my first political statement about my body and what I was allowed to do versus what my brother or the boys were allowed to do. And then around the same time, I had a babysitter who had a 14-year-old son, and I don't know why I wasn't with all the other kids, but he took me into a room and he pinned me down on the ground and pinned my arms to the ground, and he was forcing, like, he put his tongue in my mouth basically, and I was still a kid. I had never ever had anything like this before. And I just remember screaming and just trying to get him off, but he was huge, so I just couldn't get him off me. And after that, I could not tell my mom for maybe 5 years. And I would always try to tell her, and I would be sitting in the car, and it was like every day. And I would, like, open my mouth, and nothing could come out. And I was so ashamed of it, but confused. Now I still try to, I don't know how I felt about it, but there was some kind of shame tied to it. And I did not know how to express myself, but I knew it was wrong, what had happened. I think after that, let's see, normal school stuff, I was a really, really late bloomer. So basically I was flat-chested until I was like 15 years old. And I never could use my body to get attention. So I always had to use, like, I'm like a class clown, or like I had to do all these other things to get attention. When all my friends had boobs and, like, were starting their periods, and then I would, like, rub it in their faces, like, I don't have to have a period, like, this is awesome. I can swim whenever or whatever. And I remember feeling pretty uncomfortable about not having boobs. I remember that was a big deal. And I would wear these huge t-shirts, but then these, like, really tiny Daisy Duke shorts. So I had, like, 2 string legs hanging out and, like, a giant billowing, like, pillowcase of a shirt. And I thought that was pretty cool, but I think it was, like, a 90s look. But I basically never changed my dress from that time. So now I think, when I think about my body, I've never felt comfortable dressing like a girl. If I'm in a dress, I feel, like, very strange. And I feel the attention is, I don't know, I don't like the attention of that. Or, like, I'll wear some kind of flowers sometimes, but I feel like this look of, like, what's feminine to me is, like, it's almost, like, weak. I don't really like this kind of look. And I feel like that I've always dressed, like, pretty boyish, I think, for the most part. I mean, I've dressed up in, for events and things. But yeah, my look is very much about being kind of androgynous, because I don't want the focus to be on any kind of, like, femininity. But, let me think. And never, ever, ever show cleavage, because I just think that is, like, outrageous. For me. Like, I can't do that. So, in high school, I met my now fiance, and we started seeing each other when we were 15 or 16, and both of us had never done anything with another person sexually. So we experienced everything for the first time together, and we were together for 6 years, and then we broke up for various reasons, and the next 8 years I basically slept with every person under the sun, and had a million, kind of different kinds of relationships, but in all of them, the body was a different kind of experience. Like, I was in a relationship with someone that, for a while, that was a purely sexual relationship that I never felt womanly before I, like, had this relationship with this person. It was completely body-centered and a very different experience than anything that I'd ever had before. And especially being seen that way when I was, like, maybe I was unconsciously trying to not be seen that way. Like, now I'm realizing that I'm, like, dressing, I'm choosing to look this way, but, like, at the time, I don't know, it was like this person could just see right through that and get to the woman that I was. And then I started thinking of myself more as a woman, and, like, what does that mean, and how I'm presenting myself, and so this person, like, kind of opened that up to me. But he was also sleeping with 8 other people at the same time. I mean, it was a mind game type of situation, but I think that was one of the first times I started to really really like my own body. Like the way that he showed, I don't know, he presented it in a different way. But ultimately it was really, really bad. And then 9 months ago, I got back with the high school sweetheart. And now it is like the most different kind of body relationship I've ever had. It's like the most intimate, the most fulfilling, the most completely 100% exposed and comfortable. But it's only changing and it keeps growing like all the time. It's like, and for him too, because I think we're just beyond insecurities now about this kind of thing, or like, and all the things I used to worry about, or like, my boobs are not symmetrical. It used to drive me crazy. I like could not take my shirt off. I would be so, ashamed. And now it's like, it's such like it's minutia that I do not have time to care about anymore. I do feel like a lot of the burden of like body conscious stuff is being lifted, and I do think a lot about grace and like spatial movements and how I fit in. I feel like I'm pretty uncoordinated and kind of loppy. And now I'm interested, like I'm taking ballet, so I'm interested in like figuring out how to be more elegant in space. I'm interested in that. But like strong elegance. It can't just be like, this kind of like whatever. Probably shouldn't do hand movements for that. And I'm listening to my body way more than I ever did. And that's been something only like the last 6 months. Like, it's crazy to me how much, exhaustion or hunger or fatigue, all these things start affecting my mind and tricking my mind into thinking there are problems that aren't there. And so now I try to take steps if I'm feeling anxious or feeling whatever. First look at what is my body, what's wrong, what's not right with my body right now that could be causing this. And most often it's like something I can fix, and it's not really like a mental issue. So I see a relationship, but a total separation between my mind and my body. But they're becoming really close friends, so I'm excited about that.